Welcome back to the channel, you guys. In today's video, we are installing some more lights on the F-150 Tremor. American Modified, or AM Off-Road, has sent us a set of these Grille lights that will go onto our Tremor, and they will mount right into this little orange slot right here, right into the bar or the C channel, whatever you want to call it. And this should be a fairly easy install. Right now I have it just currently hooked up to my battery booster pack, just so you guys have an idea what it looks like. And these lights are packed with a lot of really neat features. So this technically is the turn signal. What you would usually do is you would have the white LED light on as such, and then when your turn signal comes on, you'll have a sequential sort of turn signal like that built into your grille. Now I have enough sequential turn signals on my truck at the moment. We got the running boards and the rear LED light bar underneath my tailgate. So I'm just gonna hook up as the orange lights. We're gonna hook up to the upfitter switch so we can turn on whenever we want. And I think I'm gonna leave the white light out for the time being. We're gonna go over the whole install, how the wiring all works, and then you guys can kind of customize and hook it up however you would like, kind of suit your build the best. So there's a few different ways you can mount these. You have your screw holes right here. You have 4 on each bar. So once you get them sort of where you want it, once you get them seated into the grille, you can screw. There's a kind of like, if you fill on the back side here, you can feel it. There's a flat part that you can put the screws into, and they would hide behind this orange bezel here. So you wouldn't be able to see the screws poking through the other side, but you can do that. I'm gonna go with the 3M tape method. It should hold up without any issues. In order to do the screwing, you'd have to take your whole grille off, and I'm not looking to do that right now at this moment. So along with the wiring harness, you're also supplied with some 3M tape here, and this is what we're gonna use to mount the lights to the grille. And this is sort of what I figured out myself how to do this. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna put our 3M tape along the top here. I'll show you a close-up once we're all done. And what I'm gonna do is, so I have it sort of seated on this lip, and we're gonna do it to the other side as well. So we have it on the top and the bottom of the LED strip. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our box cutter, make sure you have a nice sharp blade, and we're gonna make sure this is nice and tacked onto the light bar. Then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my knife and run it along here to cut all this excess stuff sticking over off. And then the stuff we cut off, we can use for the bottom side here. Got 3M tape on both sides of the light now. So let's bring it over to the grille and we'll get it mounted on, and we won't do this one just yet. And to get this into your grille, all you wanna do is just grab your active shutters here and then just open them up with your hand. Shouldn't be an issue doing that, just make sure you don't crack your shutter. And then you can stick this light past the shutter, and there's a rounded edge on this thing right here. I don't know if you can see that on the camera. And this goes towards the emblem. So we'll put the rounded edge in first, and then we'll push it past the shutter, pull it back through, and then we'll kind of get it somewhat fitted into place here. And then once we're happy with that, we can rip off our red masking on our 3M tape. There we go. Okay, it's all off. And now we can just put it in. And then we'll push it in, we'll hold it for 15 seconds so that it adheres to the plastic. Just like that. And that's not going anywhere. I'm basically pushing the whole grille in. You can see the whole grille is flexing. So this is gonna hold really, really well. And then you don't have to take your whole grille assembly off, put any screws in, and this will work. And you can't see any of the tape behind it there. Very, very clean install, very, very tight. What I'll do now is I'll get the other one installed, I'll do the same thing, get the other one installed, and then we'll do the wiring. All right, so we got both lights mounted and they look really, really good, really, really clean. No issues at all with that install. And the 3M tape works wonders. It's so tacky, it's so sticky. And especially once it like cures, like it definitely would still be a little bit tacky and soft. Those aren't going anywhere. Like it's I can push really, really hard on that and that's not going anywhere. And worst case scenario, if these did in fact fall off, they would just kind of hang inside your grill. They're not gonna go anywhere. But no worries with the 3M tapes. It's a good, safe method of mounting. And then the only task left is just to run the wires. So we're gonna run it this way, all the wires this way to the battery area, because that's where our upfitter switches is. They're down, our wires are down here. So I'm not gonna use the white. I think I'm gonna leave the white out because it'll just throw off all the color anyways. My truck doesn't have a lot of white LEDs. It's all amber, orange trim, all that kind of stuff. So we're just gonna worry about hooking up the orange light for now, which will be the yellow wire. And then we'll hook that up to our upfitter switch, and then the black goes to the negative on the battery. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna wrap this all in tape so that when I run it through my grill, it's all the wires are nicely together. So I'm just using black electrical tape. So there's a bunch of ways you can do this. You can tap these into your side marker lights so that you have the full functionality of the turn signals, and then the white lights come on when these come on, and when the turn signals turn on from here, then you have your turn signals. You'd have to tap into both lights so that both bars get the individual turn signals. But like I said, I have enough sequential turn signals on this truck already, so we just want sort of a functionality amber sort of light up on the grill. And this is a Tremor only kit, so I think a lot of you guys like the idea of having things to your auxiliary outfitter switches, so hopefully a lot of you guys can follow us along. If you want to do it to your turn signals, you might have to do a little bit of figuring out on your own on that one. I'm gonna run the wire along the backside of the grill and then use those little screw brackets to put a zip tie through so it's all nicely hidden right behind the bar here. I'm gonna shorten this part up to where our two white brackets are that plug into each light. That's a lot of length, so we only really, like our wire's right here for one, and then it's right here for the other. So I'm actually gonna shorten this up here. I'm just gonna do a couple folds over each other. That way I'm not stuck doing it once it's in the grill. Something like that. Tape this together. There, so we're nice and shortened up now, so when we do go, we can hide it right behind the grill. And then I don't know how much length I need to get to my actual engine bay. I know I'm not gonna need all of this wire. I'm gonna cut everything to the same length as the black wire here. So the red and the black. Now it's all the same length. Tape these all together because I see a nice little hole that I can fish into that gets me back into my engine bay. I'm gonna grab a coat hanger. Always good to have these guys around just so I can actually hook the wire down here. There you go. And I'll show you guys in a second here exactly where I ran it. And then we'll feed the rest of this behind our grill here. We're gonna go underneath the emblem just because it'll make things look a little cleaner. And then there's our one end here, and we can go ahead and we can plug our light into it, just like so. And then our other end is right here. And then we'll take our other end and plug it in, just like so. Theoretically, if I strip our ends here, our yellow ends, because that's gonna be for our amber light. So we'll twist these two guys together. We have our black for our negative, our yellow for our amber. And if I touch the yellow to the positive and the black to the negative, just like that. So that is good. And then like I said, well, the red won't reach across because it's too short, but I'm not gonna bother stripping that anyways. But that's how I want it. I want just the amber lights just like that. And then we're gonna hook that up to our upfitter switch. You fish your wire, you wanna make sure you don't go through your grill because it'll close and pinch the wire. There's a hole right there that I ran the wire through. It's right there, it's on the kind of the left, kind of like right about there. And then if you come into the engine bay, you see that it kind of comes through down there. It'll be very nicely hidden, and then we just need to get this over to our upfitter switch. And then we just need to hide the rest of this wire here because you don't want wire hanging in your grill. That's where we're gonna tie wrap it to those screw brackets, the ears that are coming off these lights. So I got 4 tie wraps here, and we'll see what we can do with them. Then all we want to do is just finish routing our cable and get it connected. So we'll nicely slide this got the wire neatly run here. It doesn't jump over top. It's all hidden very nicely. Now all we have to do is grab our upfitter wires, which I hate that Ford made these so short. Like, did they think people were never going to use these? So we'll just give them 4 inches and we'll shove them way down there. It blows my mind sometimes how lazy companies get with this kind of stuff and how hard they make it to access. They should give us a nice mounted box here with a bunch of nice terminal screws that we can actually do all of our auxiliary wiring to, not have to reach way down here for a 3-inch wire and try to crimp onto it. It's mind-blowing. This is the wire I'm going to use. This is the yellow and orange stripe, which is auxiliary 6 for me on my truck. We'll cut these yellow wires shorter because we don't need that much length. So we will strip these, twist them together, and we will throw it underneath a T-tap here. And we're just left with hooking up our ground here. I'll just tape the red out of the way. That's for the white light on the grill lights, but I am not using the white. I have no interest in the white. It doesn't really match what I'm going for with the orange and amber sort of trim on the truck. So get rid of that, just tape it back. We'll strip this little wire here, our little negative. I'll throw it underneath a fork. Just like so. Give it a good crimp. Give a good tug test. We're just gonna go right to the negative terminal. And just to make everything nice and neat, we can throw a couple wraps of tape around here. And as you can see, the lights are on and they look really, really nice. I think it complements the amber on the truck so well. It works really well with the headlights too. Kind of gives it that amber beam all the way across, and they just fit in there really, really nicely. Let's pull the truck out of the garage and we'll have a look at this from a distance. I'm just parked in the backyard here, kind of in the shade, and hopefully this gives you guys an idea or a good idea of how it kind of looks from a distance. And if you follow my Instagram or YouTube, and I post YouTube shorts, I'll definitely do a night post later on what they look like at night. But very, very cool. And American Modified also has aftermarket grills for the F-150 Tremor, if that's what you're interested in. You don't have to just settle for these grill lights. You get a whole new grill assembly if you really want to stand out. But overall, I'm very, very happy with this. I think it looks awesome. The only sort of complaint I would have is if the orange on here matched this orange a little bit better. I'll go turn them on. They're likely gonna flicker a lot. Yeah, see, they're already flickering. But you can kind of tell they're a different shade of orange and not the end of the world. They actually match really well with the grill lights, with the Raptor grill lights. But very subtle, very clean, and just another mod to really help your truck stick out and stand out from the rest of them. And this is sort of what they look like when the lights aren't on. Luckily for me, they actually match the color of my paint quite well, so they blend in quite nicely and overall tie together really well with the orange and the kind of avalanche white I have going on my truck. So very nice look. And if you don't always want to have the lights on, it looks very nice, very sleek, and looks like it belongs there. So thanks to American Modified for sending me these. I'll make sure to put the link in the description below. If you guys have any questions, any concerns, make sure you guys comment in the comment section below, and I will do my best to answer as always. Thank you guys so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next one.